Hi, and welcome to English Channel. Are you learning English? Great. Let's learn English with a very interesting story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Let's get started.
1. Introduction. Have you ever wondered how one book changed the world? The Bible is not just a book. It is a collection of stories, laws, songs, and letters. It shaped cultures, beliefs, and history. For thousands of years, people protected these words. They copied them carefully and passed them on. Many tried to destroy the Bible, but it survived. It crossed languages, empires, and generations. This journey took more than 1,000 years. It involved ordinary people, kings, scribes, and scholars. Each played a part in keeping the message alive. This is not only the story of a book, it is the story of faith, memory, and human effort. This is the story of how the Bible came to be. 2. The ancient roots. From oral tradition to early scrolls. Long before the Bible became a book, its stories lived in people's voices. In ancient times, most people could not read or write. There were no books. Instead, parents told stories to their children. These children grew up and told the same stories to their own children. This is called oral tradition. These stories were very important. They told people about God, laws, and how to live good lives. People tried to remember every word carefully. They repeated the stories again and again so nothing was lost. Around 1200 BCE, some of these stories were written down for the first time. This was not easy work. People wrote on stone, animal skin, and papyrus scrolls made from plants. They used ink from plants and simple tools. Some of the oldest parts of the Bible are songs. The Song of the Sea and the Song of Deborah are very ancient. They come from a time of battles, faith, and hope. Special people called scribes wrote these texts. Scribes were trained to read and write. They believed these stories were holy, so they copied every word slowly and carefully. Because of them, these ancient stories survived for thousands of years. 3. The formation of the Torah, the foundation of law. The first 5 books of the Bible are very important. They are Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. Together, these books are called the Torah. The word Torah comes from Hebrew. It means law or instruction. For a long time, Jewish and Christian people believed that Moses wrote these books. According to tradition, Moses wrote them near Mount Sinai. This happened after the people of Israel left Egypt. God gave Moses laws to guide the people. These laws helped them know how to live and how to worship God. Today, many scholars study the Torah carefully. They believe the books were written and edited over many years. Different people may have written different parts. The final form of the Torah likely came after 538 BCE, when the Jewish people returned from exile. The Torah tells many important stories. It explains how the world began. It tells the story of Abraham and his family. It also explains the covenant between God and the people of Israel. These laws and stories helped turn separate tribes into one nation. By around 500 BCE, the Torah was accepted as holy. Jewish people read it, studied it, and protected it. It became the strong foundation of faith, law, and identity for generations to come. 4. The prophets and the writings, expanding the Hebrew Bible. As time passed, the history of Israel continued. The people had kings. Later, they lost their land and lived in exile. During these times, more books were added to the Bible. These books were grouped into two new parts. They are called the prophets and the writings. Together with the Torah, they form the Hebrew Bible, also called the Tanakh. The first group is the prophets, or Nevi'im. Some are called former prophets. These books include Joshua, Judges, and Samuel. They tell the story of Israel's leaders and kings. Other books are called latter prophets. These include Isaiah and Jeremiah. They spoke God's message to the people. Many of these books were accepted as holy by around 300 BC. The second group is the writings, or Ketuvim. This group is very different and rich. It includes Psalms, which are songs and prayers. It also includes Proverbs and Job, books of wisdom. Other books, like Ezra and Nehemiah, tell history. This final group was accepted over a long time. Most scholars believe it was finished between 200 BCE and 200 CE. By then, the Hebrew Bible was complete and carefully protected. 5. The Septuagint, translating for a Greek-speaking world. As time went on, many Jewish people no longer lived in Israel. They moved to other lands. This is called the diaspora. One large Jewish community lived in Alexandria, in Egypt. Many of these people did not speak Hebrew anymore. They spoke Greek, the common language of that time. Because of this, they could not read the Hebrew Bible. They needed the Bible in a language they understood. In the 3rd century BCE, an important project began. Jewish scholars started to translate the Bible into Greek. This translation is called the Septuagint. The name means 70, and it is often written as LXX. According to tradition, 72 translators worked on this task. They were sent by King Ptolemy II. Their work was made for the Great Library of Alexandria. The first books translated were the books of the Torah. Later, other books were translated over many years. The Septuagint became very important. Greek was spoken across the Roman Empire. Because of this, many people could now read the Bible. The early Christian church used the Septuagint often. Many Bible quotes in the New Testament come from it. This translation helped spread the Bible to the wider world. 6. The Dead Sea Scrolls, a miraculous discovery. In 1947, something amazing happened. A young shepherd boy was looking for a lost sheep. He walked near the Dead Sea. There, he found caves in the hills. Inside the caves, he saw old jars made of clay. When the jars were opened, people found ancient scrolls inside. These scrolls became known as the Dead Sea Scrolls. The scrolls were very old. They were written between 300 BCE and 100 CE. They contained parts of almost every book in the Old Testament. Before this discovery, the oldest Hebrew Bible copies were from around 1000 CE. This means the Dead Sea Scrolls were much older than anything found before. Scholars studied the scrolls carefully. They compared them with modern copies of the Bible. The result was surprising. The words were almost exactly the same. Only very small differences were found. This showed something very important. For more than 1,000 years, scribes copied the Bible with great care. They did not change the message. They protected every word. The Dead Sea Scrolls gave strong proof. They proved the Bible was copied accurately over time. This discovery helped people trust the Bible even more. 7. The New Testament, letters from apostles. After Jesus died and rose again, his followers wanted to share his message. At first, they did not write anything down. They told stories by speaking to other people. This went on for about 20 years. As the Christian community grew, problems began to appear. New believers had questions about faith and daily life. Because of this, some leaders began to write letters. These letters are called epistles. The most important letter writer was Paul the Apostle. Around 50 CE, Paul wrote letters to churches in different cities. Some of these cities were Galatia and Thessalonica. Paul wrote to teach, to correct, and to encourage believers. He explained who Jesus was and how Christians should live. Many letters in the New Testament come from Paul. Traditionally, 13 books are linked to his name. Today, some scholars think Paul may not have written all of them. Still, these letters were very important to the early church. The churches shared Paul's letters with one another. They read them aloud during worship meetings. Over time, these letters became trusted and respected. They form the earliest written part of the New Testament. 8. The Gospels and the final New Testament books. After many years, the first followers of Jesus grew old. Some of them began to die. People worried that the stories of Jesus might be forgotten, so they decided to write the stories down. These writings are called the Gospels. There are 4 Gospels: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Each one tells the story of Jesus' life, death, and resurrection. Most scholars believe Mark was written first. This was around 65 to 73 CE. Later, Matthew and Luke were written. They likely used Mark and other stories people remembered. These books were written in the 80s or 90s CE. The Gospel of John is different. It uses deeper ideas and a thoughtful style. John was likely written last, around 90 to 110 CE. Another important book is Revelation. It was written by John of Patmos around 95 CE. This book uses symbols and visions. It gave hope to Christians during hard times. These writings completed the 27 books of the New Testament. Together, they tell the full story of Jesus and the early church. 9. Canonization, defining the sacred list. After the time of the apostles, many books about Jesus began to appear. Some told stories of his life. Others claim to contain secret teachings. Not all of these books were trusted by the early church. So church leaders faced an important question: which books were truly sacred? The process of choosing these books is called canonization. This process was slow and careful. It took nearly 300 years to complete. Church leaders did not vote quickly or randomly. They used clear and strict rules. First, a book had to be written by an apostle or by someone very close to one. This helped ensure the message came from eyewitnesses of Jesus. Second, the book had to agree with core Christian beliefs already taught in the churches. Any writing that changed or denied these beliefs was rejected. Third, the book had to be widely used by Christian communities. If many churches read it during worship, it was more likely to be accepted. Over time, agreement began to form. In 367 CE, Bishop Athanasius of Alexandria wrote a letter. In this letter, he listed 27 books as the true New Testament. This list matches the Bible we use today. Later, in 397 CE, the Council of Carthage confirmed this list. From that point on, the New Testament canon was closed in the Western Church. 10. St. Jerome and the Latin Vulgate. As Christianity spread across the Western Roman Empire, many people spoke Latin instead of Greek or Hebrew. At that time, different Latin Bible versions existed. They were often unclear and inconsistent. The Church needed one clear and trusted translation. In 382 C, Pope Damasus, I chose a man for this important task. His name was Jerome. Jerome was a brilliant scholar. He knew Latin, Greek, and Hebrew. This made him the right person for the job. Jerome did not rush his work. He traveled to Bethlehem and lived there for many years. Instead of using only older Latin copies, he studied the original Hebrew and Greek texts. This was unusual at the time. It showed his deep respect for accuracy and meaning. The translation Jerome produced was called the Vulgate, which means common language. It was written in clear and simple Latin. People could finally read and understand the Bible more easily. The Vulgate became very important. For over 1,000 years, it was the official Bible of the Roman Catholic Church. It was read in churches, studied by scholars, and copied by monks. Through the Vulgate, the Bible crossed cultures. It brought the ideas of the Eastern world to the Latin-speaking West. 11. The Gutenberg Revolution. From hand-copied English Bibles to printed books. Before the printing press existed, people already wanted to read the Bible in their own language. In 1382, John Wycliffe produced the first complete Bible in English. His translation was copied by hand. This work was slow, expensive, and dangerous. Only a small number of people could own such a Bible. Because there was no printing, each copy took months to complete. Many church leaders opposed these translations. Still, the desire to read God's Word did not stop. Everything changed in the 1450s. In Germany, Johannes Gutenberg invented the printing press with movable metal type. Around 1455, he printed the Gutenberg Bible in Latin. For the first time, many identical Bibles could be made quickly and at a lower cost. This invention changed history. Printed Bibles spread across Europe. Ordinary people could finally own a Bible. Reading was no longer limited to priests and scholars. The Word had entered a new age. 12. English Bibles after printing. From risk to legacy. After printing spread across Europe, more people wanted the Bible in English. Now it was possible to print many copies, but translating the Bible was still dangerous. In the 1520s, William Tyndale translated the New Testament from Greek into English. He wanted ordinary people to read the Bible. His translation was clear and powerful, but church leaders opposed him. Tyndale was arrested and later executed for his work. Yet his words lived on. Much of his translation was used in later English Bibles. In 1611, a new English Bible was published. It was called the King James Version, or KJV. King James I ordered this translation for the Church of England. A group of 47 scholars worked together for many years. They aimed for accuracy and beauty. The KJV changed history. It shaped English faith, literature, and language. For more than 400 years, it became the standard Bible for English speakers. What once was dangerous became lasting legacy. 13. Conclusion. The takeaway lesson. The history of the Bible is a long and powerful journey. It began with spoken stories shared from heart to heart. Later, these stories were written on scrolls, copied by hand, and protected by scribes. Across thousands of years, the Bible survived wars, persecution, mistakes, and time itself. This shows great human effort and careful preservation. It also shows a deep belief that these words mattered. As the Bible moved from a few elite hands to ordinary people, something changed. People no longer depended only on priests or leaders. They could read, think, and understand for themselves. The main lesson is clear. Access to knowledge brings freedom. When people can read truth in their own language, power becomes shared. Truth becomes personal. Today, the Bible is read in homes, schools, and churches around the world. It is translated into over 3,000 languages. Even in a digital age, its influence remains strong. The story of the Bible is still shaping lives, just as it has for thousands of years.
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.